Hello, it's Ed from the New Media Zone. Usually I'm down here on the set taking a look at the new movies and DVD releases with Dave, but since I have time and I've been working on a lot of models lately, I figure why not do some occasional model related videos. So all we have to do is move the Media Zone sign out of the frame, and today we're going to take a look at the Phantom of the Opera model. And people love the unboxing videos of unboxing models, toys, whatever it is. Nobody cares as long as something is being unboxed. So since I have the new Phantom of the Opera model, this is what we're going to do with our first model video. We're going to unbox the Phantom of the Opera. Okay, here I am at the desk with my trusty pointer. Now this is the version I had from 1972. And this is the one I actually bought in 1979 at Dwayne's Toyland, because this was one of the toy stores that had a basement, and it was like a museum down there. There's toys 10 years, 15 years old down there. So that is where I got this one. And of course, before this one was the original one in a long box from 1963 or so, which looks like the one that just came out, which we'll open in a minute. But this is, there was the one from 1963, the original, with the James Bama art. And then in 1969, there was a quick release of a frightening lightning version with some glow parts. And then, of course, this one with the glow and dark parts. And then we didn't see the Aurora monsters again until 1992 or so, when there was a monogram Luminator version, which was clear plastic. And I'll put a picture up, but I think the Phantom was the orange plastic. And those were good if you didn't have the model, but I remember them not sticking together too well with the glue or painting working too well there. But if you had a black light, you know, you'd go to town with the glow effect on those. Around 1992, also a regular version of the Phantom. Maybe that one was black plastic too, because it seems like they always molded these in black plastic. And then in 1994, there was a Cinemodels version, which said Universal Pictures Presents on the box. And I thought I had that one in my archives. Here's a shot of my archives, which I'm going through and weeding out and seeing what I'm going to do. But apparently I did not buy that one. I think that one was a little expensive, as I recall, and I already had this version here. So let's see what's left in the box in my old version. The instructions were here. These instructions, and then all the numerous, look at those Aurora models at the time. And don't forget to send away for your 50 cents collector's catalog there. And a couple pieces that I have the glow pieces left in here. I didn't have the glow pieces on the model, so we can compare a couple of the pieces to the new one. And I'm looking at this for 1979. I think I did a pretty good job on this Phantom. I can't find the mask at the moment, or it looks like we're missing the rope piece here. And there's a Facebook page on Facebook, of course, the Parts Pit. So if you're missing any parts to your models, you sign up on that page and ask somebody if they have the mask and the rope, which are two pieces which are missing a lot. And someone will have them on there. But I was just looking at this. I used no putty in 1979. And it was the old enamel paints. And by God, how did I get such a smooth paint job with a brush, I'm wondering. And apparently I was doing a little bit of dry brushing starting to come in here. And I did a gruesome job on this prisoner with the bones and blood exposed. So that is the older kits. Now we are gonna get to the unboxing part, where we're gonna unbox the Phantom, the new Phantom of the Opera kit, which it has been a while since anybody has released one, 94 I guess. This is Atlantis Models is doing this one, and for the first time we're seeing in cooperation with the Cheney Entertainment, which is good. Apparently Cheney Entertainment is getting you know, some money for rights issues. The past 55 years they released this model. They didn't see dime one, but okay, they're getting some money now. And actually this is I guess it looks similar to the, you know, Lon Chaney original Phantom of the Opera, but it actually looks more like the James Cagney version from The Man of a Thousand Faces, which was probably closer in time when these models were first released than the silent version. So that's interesting. And on the box, we have some nice pictures of the model there. And it looks similar to the Aurora, the long box model. The only thing I noticed on this, they probably had to make a copy of one of the original boxes, the actual picture, there's not a lot of contrast. Maybe when we open the plastic up, there'll be more contrast. We see the old 1970s box has more contrast and darks. So we'll see how the box looks when we open it. Now, here's the fun part. We're gonna unbox, so that means we have to, and I'm gonna use a nail right here, because that usually works. So we're gonna take a look at how, now these are the original molds. The original Aurora molds, which Atlantis has. And I don't know if there was only one set of Phantom molds. I know there was more Frankenstein molds, because they were doing a ton of those. So it looks like the original long box. And let's see, okay, there are the parts. And I remember they were asking on their Facebook page what color they wanted to see this in. And I did mention gray on there, and not black like all the other releases had been in, which, as we can see on the original 1963 Aurora plastics, it was black, which is not fun to prime and paint over. So we have the nice gray. That's usually what I use for primer. So that's nice. And we see, okay, we've got a nice slick instruction sheets with, looks like, is it the same print as the original? Let's see, they're talking about the Phantom of the Opera. Audience gasp. Audience is gasp. Yep, it's the same same print on there. And then that looks like a reproduction of the original, or at least the 72 version, which I have here, so we can compare. There is the new instructions. And if we put, other than the little glow illustrations on the older one, it is the same art, it looks like. Okay. Let's see, this looks nice on the back. What's going on here? It's the slick ad. It's, of course, it's telling you all about the model and all the information. Of course, we already own the model at this point, so we don't really need any of this information inside the box, but it's nice it's there in color, giving you a reference. And okay, this is a nice high quality instruction sheet. All right, and then we've got something else in here. It's the MMP Premium Hobby Paints. Now, I've never heard of those. The mission models here. Oh, look at all the colors. That's kind of fun. I use the good old acrylic paints now over at the hobby store. And they work well for me, but here are a whole bunch of colors in there. Now, why don't we open and take a look at the parts and see how the molds are holding up after all this time. The molds are about as old as I am. And we'll put all the parts on the table, and then we will hold them up. Or actually, you can see them right there, so you can see them as they're coming out. Oh, there was one issue they mentioned on the website. We're going to take a look at the mask, which maybe I could just use the mask from here. Yeah, they did say there were some problems on the website. It was nice of them to warn us on the mask about all this extra flashing on there. On top, which is fine. There's no problem with that. But there was apparently a problem with a pin here that is leaving a little mark, which we got to cut off and use some putty on. But that is fine. Just remember to glue your mask securely to the hand so you don't lose it. Now, there's a lot of detail in that face. There's more detail than I remember painting, and I don't know. Well, there's some good detail in that one too, I guess, with the paint on it. But there's a lot of detail in this one. I don't know if they were the same molds. There would have to be the same detail all along the lines with the monogram models, or did they have a different mold? I don't know. These are the original molds, and there's good detail in there. Here's the Phantom. You can see there's a lot of detail in there. It does look more like the original version here, I think, than the art on the front. Yeah, there's a lot of detail there. And then here's the hands. There's a lot of extra flash. You're going to have to cut off there. And this is going to be fun. A lot of flash on the little lizard. So get your knives out for that. Extra flash. But all the other parts look good. And let's see, we could compare the bases right here. I am going to say the print on the new version is not as sharp as on the 72 one I have here, although it looks like the faces are sharper. I don't know how that occurs. Maybe some of the molds are a little, maybe the printing is tough though. You lose the sharpness, I think, more than other parts. All right. I think those are all the good parts that you're going to want to see. The face. There's the base a little closer. And you can see how even my paint job, which should be a little stronger there with the letters, that the newer one is a little softer there. Not bad though, but not as sharp as this one. But all the other parts, you see my poor little victim in there. I'll have to redo this to tone down the bones a little bit. That's a bright white. And go back in with some dry brushing, but not bad for a 1979 version. Looks pretty good. If you don't have a Phantom yet, or you don't have the long box version. Okay, that wraps up the first model video from the new Media Zone Studios. We'll be doing some more of those. Also, don't forget the regular show, The New Media Zone, where myself and Dave take a look at the movies coming out this week, and also DVD releases, Blu-ray, whatever you're watching on these days. So stay tuned for that. We also give away some movie tickets on that show. So look for that show also here on this YouTube channel.